Welcome to CVM Stories, the podcast on customer value management. Together, we explore how companies can be more successful and the customers happier through the use of latest customer value management techniques. Learn key commercial and analytical insights from telecoms, retail, finance, and other industries that drive CVM forward.
Hi, I'm your host, Egidijus. Today our guest is Vytautas Jurkus. He is a senior manager for CRM, user experience, and marketing automation at Western Union. Vytautas is a marketing automation guru with over 15 years of experience across telco, finance, pharma, and security industries. Vytautas is known for his customer love, creativity, and wowing customers with personalized marketing magic. Today, he's gonna share some marketing automation secrets. So, let's join the conversation.
CVM Stories is produced by Exacaster. We help companies take their customer value management to the next level. To stay updated on our latest episodes, subscribe to the podcast or sign up for an email newsletter at exacaster.com/CVM Stories.
Hi, Vytautas.
Hi.
Welcome to our podcast. It's really great to have you here. I will spoil a bit that we know each other for, I think, 15 years.
Or maybe more.
Or maybe more, 15, 16 years, something like that.
I've checked actually LinkedIn, like when I've joined the beta, because
Yes.
this is where we've started or where we got introduced. So it was 2008.
Yes. 2008.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like 15 something. Yeah, it's like many, many years ago, you know? And you are one of those people who really inspire me because it's like, as long as I remember you, you were like in marketing. And it's like, when I look at you, it's like you're born with marketing gene. Because kind of you're one of those few people who even have a dissertation in your master's about mobile marketing impact on consumer behavior intentions at the time when mobile marketing was not born. I would say it's like, I don't know, 15, 16 years ago, it was not even a topic, you know?
Yeah, and well, I think like that topic when I've chosen, and I've chosen because, well, I've started working at telco. I wanted to have something related to telco and marketing, and we were using at that time mainly SMS as a mobile channel. At that time, there were no mobile apps, no push notification. I think there was MMS.
Yes, there was an MMS, and the mobile internet was kind of, I don't know, the penetration was below 30%, was like 25, 26, something.
I think we had goals also to increase the penetrations, like educating customers, like how to use WAP.
Yeah,
It was like on those devices. We were segmenting those customers, we were pushing. So yeah, I've chosen this topic, and it was interesting topic at that time. Like now, I think nobody's talking about the SMS as such.
No. So I was wondering, was it kind of, did you know from day one when you were born that this is an area where you want to be in, or how did it start?
Well, I think, in nature, in life, a lot of things happen like how it's supposed to happen. Yeah. So I think, we discussed today in front of the coffee that we both finished bachelors at the MIF, Mathematics and Informatics.
Yeah.
So I kind of was pushed by parents. This is a good area, mathematics, informatics. Okay. Although a lot of, recently friends told like, oh, you know that out of this group, you're not the strongest in the math. I'm like, why? Well, you're strong in empathy, in reading people, understanding this. Well, okay, I can take that, but I work with data. Like I assume we're gonna talk like reading and these skills are needed. So when I finished bachelor's, I decided to have a 1-year break, and I moved to United States. So United States, I was working like J1 visa, traveled. Okay. It was more fun. Also, at the end of that year, there was MTV coming, so pop culture, like something fun. And I was an active kid at that time. My cousin, she went into MTV as an audition for VJ. I went there too, and I actually escaped the finals.
Really? So what were you?
Well, there were like two guys selected, me and one guy, and there were like four girls. They were choosing one guy, one girl. But anyway, I think this is a different topic. So I've moved to United States. I thought that I'm gonna live there, so I've traveled, worked, and there was ICM. I've learned about this ICM. I wanted to enter the studies, and they had the pop culture and business management, the program as such, and thought, okay, I'm gonna apply into this because MTV show, and I didn't know about marketing at that time. And when I was applying, the dean of university said, actually, we've closed this program because it wasn't that successful. But actually, this year, we're starting with the new international marketing and management. Like, would you like to apply? And I'm like, I don't know what it is.
Okay.
And that's how I appeared in the market. And I said, okay, I want to live in Lithuania, although travel to US is like, there's always greener grass outside where we are not. And I've joined university. I kind of liked it. And especially in this area about automation, you need to have marketing and mathematical background, IT technical skills. And I got introduced to Beta during the open student doors. And this is how I've got accepted like as a student and started my career in telco.
Super funny part that I also joined Beta through this student path, you know.
Yeah,
So it's
I would encourage all the students go
and do that. Yeah.
and do that.
Yeah. So fast forward to now, you are working you're a senior manager for CRM, user experience, marketing automation at Western Union. Could you describe a bit more what is your role right now?
So my role is, I had a break of 3 years. I was in Western Union for 6.5 years. At that time, I was more into starting all the automations, data modeling, working with data, creating use cases what we can automate. I've looked for the greener grass outside. After 3 years, I've rejoined Western Union back into on certain project to work on service and transactional communication and create better experience for customers there. Okay. But now I've moved back to marketing part due to org changes. And currently I'm leading a team of 6 people who are responsible for customer lifecycle automation. So we're using marketing tools, different stacks to send emails, SMSs, push notifications, in-app messages to drive customer engagement and business value. So all the onboardings, nurturing, 1x to 2x, because this is financial, money, transactional business. So we're driving the customer loyalty, engagement, churn, the prevention. So we're our team is responsible working with different regions, partners to implement automated journeys.
Okay, sounds like a lot of on the plate, like many countries.
A lot on the plate.
Many kind of life cycle stages, etc. So if we look from this perspective, to be able to manage customer life cycle across so many countries, what are the skills necessary here? So if somebody would like to say, it seems like a fun job, I would like to be a customer value manager or go into marketing automation. So what would you say are the core skills here?
Well, core skills. I think in general, I'd start with strategic thinking and creative thinking. Like we all are as the customers and we use different products and services. Like what we would like to have, what kind of experience we would like to have with one or another service or product. In our case, we're providing service. There's no tangible thing. It's the experience, how the smooth transaction is going to be. So I think understanding like from the need that I need to support someone outside in different countries, I want to send money. So what the funnel is going to be before even first transaction. how the purchase starts. Like, okay, there's a need. I start searching online. What are the ways to send money? So the whole journey starts with leads and prospects. And well, currently we're not that strong on this. This is something that we're developing now and piloting in certain countries. We always were focusing on the sender side. And once they transact, they enter our funnels, like data systems. This is the sender. We know their demographic data, where they're sending from, to where, what languages they speak. So I think this covers the other part, the analytical and data understanding. Okay. Not only like how data comes from the upper system, how they are imported from within the marketing cloud tools. Well, there are, of course, different people with different skills. Like not everyone can read data. Like there are these SQLs. Yeah, we talk a lot of SQLs in the team. Like,
so can you still write SQL code?
I do, and I kind of enjoy this. Although it takes some time, and well, there are way stronger people on writing complex SQLs, but I love writing. And the funny thing is, well, this is like we were talking in the team. When I have full access to the tool, and you can easily write query and get the numbers and report to leadership, whatever who I'm reporting. Like, oh, this is the segment, this is the size. There was recently decided, okay, there's a risk that other people has access to this environment. We're gonna cut the access. And I'm like, come on, guys, I've been working on these tools like many. I know all the risks, like what can be broken. But they decided to cut me off of this, and that basically created a longer funnel for me to report numbers to the leadership. Instead of getting those numbers in 15, 30 minutes, it takes 4 days.
Yeah. but this is a super funny pattern. It's like usually team wants to cut off management from direct access to the data. I have seen this
You've seen that?
In many situations. Yeah.
What are the reasons? Like somebody like, oh, you're gonna know more than I do, or this is about this, ownership of the thing.
It's like, kind of managers tend to get everything really fast, but sometimes they misinterpret, when you go to the management and you are not so into details, sometimes you forgot some important nuances. And you might misread some data, You missed some filter in your query and you reported good or bad results,
Could be.
And then the team gets punished, that you reported bad numbers, etc. But this is kind of, I see this pattern,
And it correlates with the experience, because I was reporting a bit different numbers that the team was having access, but actually their numbers were wrong.
Oh, no.
So it was funny, but I thought, okay, this is not my battle, guys.
Okay, so if we take a kind of if we step back a little bit, so the key thing is like to see the whole customer journey and whole customer experience flow, to be able to read the data, to be able to coordinate teams.
Like communication, collaboration with different teams. This is like needed if you want to drive changes and implementation. So you need to be open, like talk to sales, talk to regional teams, because they're gonna know better than yours. Well, we're scattered around the world. Like you're not gonna know better than French team in France or German team or in the US. Like, what's the behavior of their customers? They know the market better. So you need to talk, like what they're initiating. What are the business goals for that market? Like where we need to focus. So you need to be open, talk. You need to communicate messages properly internally, like, because this is when we're talking, this is technical things, technical discussion. You need to brief technical teams to implement those things. So you need to write proper brief, because if you're not gonna, I don't know if this say shit in, shit out. There's a lot of discussion in this, like how clean data is yours. Have you cleaned it? Do you know what can be unexpected input?
A small tangent here. So what is your relationship with IT department? Usually, IT don't like marketing guys, you know.
Uh, from like two colors, three colors, red, yellow, greens, I'll say it's yellow.
Yeah,
It's like there's always this tension, like, oh, you don't know, well, we know better, like, but we need to find the agreement, or like, and I think this is the learning curve. Like with certain people you can find agreement pretty quickly. With others, you need to multiple meetings. Yeah. So.
If we go from this high level to a bit more granular details, so for people who are not in marketing automation, can you describe, let's say, your typical day? What would be like the key things that you do? You know, you come to office, take coffee, and then, I don't know, 20 meetings?
Current typical day is I'm drowning in emails because, well, it's global and everything is burning. So I need also to learn this, like to fight those firefights in my head, like nothing's gonna burn. And
Okay.
we're gonna survive. And I'm trying to convey the team as well, like let's have a clear mind, like what's the task. So I think a lot of things is now discussion within the team, like because different folks are working on different tasks. And as we discussed now, I need to learn the legacy, like what team has automated, how those journeys performing, how many messages we're sending, how it relates to actual data, like the input, how many customers are new in certain markets. Are we covering all? Because not everyone is contactable, not everyone is marketable. The opt-ins, opt-outs, like, so we need to see if we're capturing, if we're not missing anything. So there's a lot of brainstorming with go-to-market leaders as well, like, what about other countries? So there's a lot of meetings, like, and you need to be a Shiva with multiple hands, like, to complete everything. So it's a lot of prioritizing, but a lot of things like with talking with people, sketching how the journey should be, like giving an insight, mentoring or coaching.
So in this noise, what are the, let's say, primary KPIs that you are tracking to stay kind of on top of things?
So primary KPIs, so as I mentioned, we're using email, SMS, app communication. My strengths are more on email and SMS, like app. There are like really strong people within the team. But we're measuring like how those channels perform, like delivery rates, how many like volumes we're sending, like, just to track, like just to be on top of mind and convey or message the value, or like to trigger customers. Send now, download an app, become a member, yada, yada, yada. Now, then these are parameters, how these channels performs. But at the end of the day, we want to drive business growth, like revenue, how these automated journeys impact the business overall. So we do have certain measurement, or like how we measure the performance. Like we create campaign holdouts.
Okay.
So we set aside same segment of customers, like, I don't know, 10%, 50%, 5%, depending how statistically significant measurement could be achieved at the end. So we measure the campaign performance. Legacy, we do have global holdout, if you're familiar. So at the end of the year or beginning of the year, data team reshuffles the data and they say, okay, you're going to be in the global holdout. You're not going to receive anything through own channels. So at the end of the year, we just measure how the set of the customers who did not receive anything performs with those who were constantly engaged.
And do you see large differences between those global holdouts? And
there is an impact that doing something or being with, like, communicating, it's gonna, like, you're gonna outperform. But yeah, there are campaigns where we introduce some demographical, like creating personas, and we see, okay, wow, crazy. We thought that our hypothesis was by bringing persona in this test, gonna outperform, but maybe it's too early because some teams like they were drawing conclusions like after 1 or 2 days. They didn't give like one business cycle, 1 week or 2 weeks to measure and see the outcome.
Okay. Before we go into even more details, I have a last question for you. So I know that you are a father, a husband. You know, you have a nice family. You are working in this kind of overwhelming environment. So how do you refresh yourself? How do you stay, I don't know, alive? You know.
Well, yeah, Western Union is the global company, US based, so a lot of meetings are happening in the evening, so it's hard, like, it's not easy with family sometimes, like finding that time, like, especially for the kids. How I refresh my mind, like, well, I'm active. I don't know how you remember me from Bita, like, I've started wakeboarding, but wakeboarding goes down. I don't have time to do that.
So with the wakeboarding, did you reach a certain level, like the kickers, etc.?
I didn't learn those earth tricks, but I was hitting the figures.
Okay.
Like, I don't know what they were calling jibbing, like when you land. So I really loved it. Like, it cleans your mind because you can't think about work while you're wakeboarding, because you can easily like hit the obstacle. And, well, I've hit obstacle last year, so I had a bit of injury. I'm going to the woods with airsoft team. It's not the Riflemen's Association, but we tend sometimes to practice with them. It's like, well, due to the political thing, so it's you train your different capabilities, like surviving, spending time in the nature. Tactical things, or also leading people training. My friends also reintroduced roller skating. So we tend once maybe a week or once per 2 weeks to go roller skating through the city.
So you find some activities that really help to disconnect. So
you need like if you constantly gonna be in the office or like thinking, you need time like to step from the.
What learnings do you take from kind of going to the woods with guns and practicing, you know, to, let's say, your daily work? Is it something that you can take it from there?
Well, that's a good question. I never thought what the learning could be. Well, I think like not rushing. I think not rushing, like think through what could happen, but sometimes we need to be aggressive also. And this is something that we see in the team. Oh, we lack sometimes aggressive, like when we need to complete certain, like a task, like those airsoft games where we usually play. And this maybe could be implied also in the work environment. We need to be aggressive against the competition, or sometimes spend more hours. Like an accident happened, apology needs to be sent, so you need to stay after work or even during the weekend, where team needs to work on the content, on getting segment, data needs to support. So I think also being strategic, think some steps like in front, like playing chess. Well, I'm not good at chess, so let's not go that bad.
Yeah. No, but this is, I think, it's a super important learning. You know, there are situations when you need to get things done. You know, no matter what.
Yeah, I think like, well, this is like cliche, like cutting big elephant into small pieces. I think, we discussed like sometimes there's a big project and it can scare you off. But if you're gonna start like with small steps, like let's do this, let's verify it's working, good. Let's leave it working, automated, let's move to another thing.
Okay. Now, if we move back to a business topic, you're in a super unique situation. Like you're in this area for over 15 years. You worked in telco, in pharma, in security, and in finance. doing kind of covering not exactly the same roles, but similar roles in marketing automation, in customer value management, customer relationship management. What do you see those industries have in common, and what differences do you see? What learnings did you bring from one to another?
I think first of all, so all this my career, I was mainly on the service side. Like it's not the product. The pharma was the only career where I was working with the products and more working with client side who were bringing their stuff for us to sell and put on the shelf. I think the main thing, like all these industries have in common, they have customer. And all customers, they have their needs, like problems to be solved. So they come to you to get a service, get a product to solve their problem. So they have customer. They have a lot of data around customers. And that data somehow needs to be placed on the shelf, like properly to be accessed by multiple teams. So analytical teams, like the segmentation. All the industries does the segmentation, and within the marketing team, whether you're going to have analytical person or you're going to be collaborating with data teams, but you need to be clearly specific, like what is your goal, what segment you want to target, like what are the profiles of the customers, and when mentioned, what is the company's goals in general. Do we need to focus on, I don't know, upselling, cross-selling, if this is multiple product? And I think this was a great experience at the security company, where they initially were having only one product, a core product, which was feeding the whole organization. Then they introduced two others. And my team members' goal was, how we're gonna start cross-selling them. So we started like brainstorming, trying to find, and it was total new thing for us, like how we're gonna do that.
So in this case, can we dig a bit deeper, because this is a very interesting situation. For example, in telco, we have usually several product lines. We have the core line, like I don't know, it is let's say core subscription, either for mobile or for home services, and then you do all the cross-selling and the upselling thing, and this seems super natural for telcos. And then you go to totally different industry, and you have the same situation. You have core product, and then you need to cross-sell to a new product. So, what similarities in this have you seen, or maybe you took some learnings from telco and pushed there, and maybe took learnings from there and transferred to Western?
Well, I think what we started is, our initial start was to understand the business and understand the customers, like what products they're using or how they're using their core product. Then we were trying to brainstorm and learn other products. Their core product is VPN. Password manager was new, and Locker, a bit of advertising here, no?
Yeah.
So those, like, I haven't used none of those products before we started.
Joining.
Yeah, like I've started looking into more like VPN is known for a lot of corporations due to the security or like just accessing your work stuff. And password, everybody has passwords. We have multiple accounts, so it was interesting, and I think it was more of finding that right moment to deliver right message for you to get aware of this product, the problem you have, and then try converting. So this is like, we had this, I think this is something I totally gonna remember, and when we meet with my friend who is also not anymore with that company, we always like remember this as a good experience. Like, and we had this like eureka moment, like during the lunch we came up with a crazy idea how we can test it, and it actually worked.
Okay. I'm not sure if you can share this idea, or
I think it's not a big secret. It's more about this finding the spot, like when you. So imagine like, do you use password manager?
Yes. Now, like for, I don't know, for 3 years or 4 years.
What was your purchase funnel like to get it? Or who convinced you to get it?
When I think after some of the major leaks when some product was hacked and the passwords were exposed, and then I was like, okay, it's impossible for me. I cannot use the same password everywhere. I need to generate new passwords. And then it was like, I have Apple devices, like I have keychain. Oh, let's try to use this, and then kind of gone. So this was my path.
Okay.
Basically out of fear,
Yeah, well, fear is one of the things, like we as a human fear of different things. And I think through using fear in marketing is one of the psychological things. So what we did is we tried to look into existing customers, like who are using VPN core product.
Yeah.
And we raised the questions like, how many of those goes through the forgot password funnel?
Oh, wow.
We raised this question during the lunch, and then let's see, that's the path. And there were a lot of people. And we had to, our goal was to convert at the end of the month, year, quarter, to have more 2+ customers using 2 products. So those we funneled. You press on this forgot, reset, remind of the password. You enter your email, and there is already, let it be your last password reset. That was our headline, like with different wording. And imagine, like a lot of people got attention. They went through, they received an email with the password reset, everything. There's also a secondary message, like, let it be your last password. We have this solution. That funnel worked, outperformed all the other funnels.
Oh my God, this is genius.
And it's simple.
Yeah,
and I think and this is what we discuss, like about the creativity and finding those right moments, like when it hurts your stomach or your head, you go to the doctor or to get that pill. So this was this pill.
Yeah, but this is I would say the core example of why personalized marketing actually works and it grows the business.
So, and that was the easiest thing, like coming with an idea, but then the rest of the whole kitchen, managing stakeholders, because neither my colleague had their access to the tools to implement. So we had to pitch it, find partners, prioritize it. But then this is the whole kitchen, like, oh, who's going to be the priority? Who wants to take credit? Well,
yeah. Okay, this is an amazing example. So let's talk a bit about, let's say, what is the marketing automation role in different industries. Yeah, so in telco, it's like one importance. In finances, I don't know what is how important it is in security part. Again, how would you say the business looks at this area of their operations?
So let's go maybe a few years back. I think when COVID struck, I think everybody were going into digital world, like digitalizing things, and there's more and more pressure from leaders, like automating stuff, like bringing efficiency in what you're doing. If you remember back those days at telco when we worked, and our process, way of doing or creating or this engagement or driving cross-selling or upsell, we were doing like manually, like, okay, I need data, I need this segment who are just voice users, let's teach them SMS. So you drive and you convey the message, oh, we have internet, do this, do that. So with automation, you find this niche of the customers that you want to drive to a different level, like different segment. So you create an automated funnel, you do the proof of concept, you automate it, and you leave it. And you focus on something else. Okay, you find another thing that whether you want to increase the plan, sell a cross product which supplements or contributes to the existing. You find it, you automate it, and you leave it. Then you come back and you like read the data, how it performed. Is it performing good? Is it bad? Do you need to change the copies? And all these tools, they do have features like A, B, C, D, etc. How many tests you wanna do? So you create different subject lines, you create different message. I don't know, we haven't touched the AI big thing.
Yeah,
So there are so many tools that help you create different tone and voice, like urgency, fairness. So they find different words how to, like, maybe you're gonna act more on the numbers, I'm gonna act more on the softness or something. So we're different. So AI tools can, through a certain time, they find how different segments react to different messages. And that increases the engagement.
Maybe to deepen a bit this topic, so for you as a person who is responsible for all marketing automation, what would be the list of kind of tool set that you need to be, I don't know, coordinated so that you would say, okay, I have everything what I need to implement my ideas. Yeah. So what would be the tools that you definitely need in place?
Wow. I think, in general, you have to have a platform that will deliver your messages.
Okay.
Whether that's going to be a cloud, everything is in cloud. So you have to have Rails to deliver message. You need to have a unified customer database.
Okay. Too.
Although it is not marketing's responsibility to have it, but we as a partners, we push and we raise the request. You need analytical tools which provides you the performance. I treat it differently, dashboards, I don't know, BI tools that visualize like how it is performing. AI tools like who helps with the content. You need
you use AI tools to basically do the content generation or like fine tuning the message.
It's more fine tuning the message because it's not that, but we work with a brand who creates assets for us. You need to have either internal agency. I think internal agents or internal teams are more efficiently. They know the business, they know that versus working externally. So they provide assets, they provide copy. We ingest that content into those AI machines, which can, from one version, they can create different 10 or whatever we want, and then we choose which we want. Content management systems, like where they're gonna be storing visuals. What else?
Offers for like our product catalog, something like that.
I think it can be related to this next best offer, NBA, like this is part of the analytical, because they create through segmentation that for this guy, this person, we need to do this action.
Okay.
Actually, I lack experience on these ones, but this is something that we were discussing how this should evolve or enhance our MarTech or how we can leverage. Although we discuss about this long experience, like some things are still being created. Like technology are really fast in terms of how big companies can turn.
Yeah. But so we have quite a lot of different tools, and I assume that you need to somehow integrate them, otherwise it's not gonna work.
Yeah, there's this having customer 360 view, or like what this tool does, and does the other tool knows that we've sent to this customer. Originally, we were like having different tools or different partners for different channels. So we had marketing cloud tools for emails because they were good at emails, creating content, storing content, and executing and the reporting. SMS, different vendors, or we were managing through aggregators or partners. But those tools did not talk. We knew at the end within our platform. When app came, there's a different platform. Marketing cloud tools, they say, well, we can have and provide everything, but they lack something. They're not good at certain things. So we had like either move everything under one roof and sacrifice some things, or let's split them, but then have a holistic view somewhere at, I don't know, like the unified customer database, which then communicates through other tools. It's not an easy thing.
Is there a single answer? What is better, you know?
I don't think there's no secret like recipe that would work for you, for me, for others. Like, but I believe everyone is chasing for that recipe.
Okay. When we started Exacaster, like I don't know, 13 years ago, the way we imagine good tools is like, you know, marketer comes, press the button, increase revenue, and everything, you know, works automatically. And over those 15 years, you have touched, I don't know, tens of different marketing automation tools. So is, let's say, a marketing automation tool the only answer? So what's your opinion? Is it like, have you seen the perfect marketing automation tool? Is it the answer? What's your take on that?
I'll start maybe from a little bit different angle answering this question. I don't know how it happened, but like some years back, I got introduced to university to support the lecturer to talk about the marketing automation, like present what's the role, and we were talking. And we had this little debate because the lecturer was talking, oh, marketing automation tools changes everything. And you bring automation and it will do the magic for you. And in the car, I was talking to her, I was like, no, like, I think you need to start from different, like you need to start with the process. It's like, what's your process? What's the current process you're doing manually? Can you automate it? Like, do you have all the necessary data, content? Any tool, I think, will automate it. You just bring the tool, and I think most of the tools gonna deliver what you want. But it will not solve all the automation, like the processes that you need to solve before bringing the tool. Then going back to the tools that I saw and I've been working, you can start with very similar ones. Like, I think we've started the beta with Mailer, and they grew up. Other platforms also comes into this MarTech world, and every year we see more and more of those. So I think you need to start with how mature you are. You may start with the small tools, and you grow. You prove the business that you need to invest in the tools. And this is what happened at Western Union. We were imitating automation. We created a proof of concept. We had great leadership support that, okay, this is something that we need to do. We had all the power to run this test. So we worked closely with data team, and we created the funnel, which was supported manually. Hey, data team, I need this set of customers in these markets. I think it was like, I don't remember. We were driving certain things. Okay, we sent communication. I don't remember. After a week, we were checking, okay, let's pool the segments. Okay, let's divide. These converted, let's exclude or create a different message for others. Let's send reminders. I don't remember how long it ran, but basically at the end of the proof of concept, it proved that we need more of these journeys. We can't, like, we need to scale it, not run manually in different countries, regions. So leadership received budget, so we started pitching different tools, big companies likes to work with big companies in America. We ended up with Salesforce Marketing Cloud at that time. And I was at that time, let's say, single super user of Western Union, like where I work with partners, consultants, like how are we gonna automate? How are we gonna bring data? And I think this is where the mathematical informatica background came as a help, that it's a technical tool. I don't know if you ever had an experience like navigating or exploring how the tool, but it's technical.
Okay.
And I think where we've learned that we were not that mature at that time, even me, like it was affordable for me, but it was hard to use. And our strategical internal goal was that marketeers, who are usually soft skilled people, we want to give them accesses to use it and scale their journeys, automation, etc. So we kind of learned, well, I saw tears in their eyes that this is so difficult. Like, I don't know if we're going to manage to use it. So after a year of using this one, we created another RFP. We need different tool. But when we discussed in front of coffee, I think that was an easy transition because we didn't have a lot like automated journeys that would create, a big backlog of the transition. Let's transition our data model, which was easy because all the data tables attributes has been done. Journeys, there were like some of them, but it was transition. So we moved to Oracle responses. Different tools like this, like one tool is heavily developers, IT people driven. Big community of developers supports in India, that market. They specify in that. Oracle, it had like different UI. They were focusing their product to marketeers. It had different like user experience, and we were users using it. People scaled up pretty quickly. They adopted. We were scaling, and a lot of stuff has been done, created. Different experience. So then when I look backwards, was I not that mature and both tools are the same? Or we had already hard experience with this hard tool, and this different tool gave different experience. But nevertheless, we're using Salesforce now. I don't know how many years pass, but somebody comes in, they sell, pitch that there's better tool, like leadership executive, and they sold back to this Salesforce. And I wasn't at that time, I was at the time still in the company when discussions had started, but I was on the leave. And I just have this experience discussion with the current team who are still within the company, how much they had to go through moving not that piece, but big piece to a different tool. Nobody wants now to move to another one. So there's an internal joke that there are good tool, shall we move?
But here I want to touch base on two topics because these are super amazing topics. Like it's the first time I hear that the company, before choosing to invest into a marketing automation tool, does a real proper simulation of what is the business impact from automation. And then you basically have a full alignment with the organization. This is why we are doing this. So this was, for me, this is like, wow, I haven't seen this. It's like a crazy thing.
I think, well, we both are for mathematics, and mathematics, like numbers, usually convey the message properly. Like, okay, without automation, you invest that much time. With automation, you might increase the efficiency. You're going to have less resources. You can easily scale. And, well, the automation is like an employee. Yeah, like who, as an assistant, he does the work that you told him to do. And I think this area, like when everybody's talking AI will steal your job, like robots. No, I think they're gonna support. You still need to have this creative thinking.
And adding to the other theme, it's like So if the company, so you have seen many tools, many implementations, and in the semester you saw the transitions. For the companies that are now thinking about changing their tool or going to, let's say, next level of marketing automation, what aspects of the tool itself you would say it's really important to take into account when making a decision? And what are the realistic expectations of how much time does it take to actually, from your idea that I am purchasing the new tool to receiving the business value, actually running the campaigns and saying, yeah, it was a good investment.
But we assume that existing company already has a tool. They've been automating, and now there's something is pitching them to switch. Yeah. So I think company needs to see first of all, how long they've been using, how much they would have to move to a different, like what's the background already created, what additional value will be created by a different tool. Is it worth that switch? Because a lot of people might be involved, and you need to plan ahead that by moving things, teams won't be supporting business as usual, like current things that they need to deliver. They need to create new, like current journeys. They need to update. They need to introduce something new. Beside the journeys, there are ad hoc campaigns, like always on, like something needs to be initiated. So whether that switch will create additional value, I think what companies should maybe focus is more on data side, like because how the data could be created, like next best offers. Ingest that one into existing platform, how that could be used. I think current days when there's so much data, big data, a lot of discussion was around this, like how can we eat that data? There's something that we're missing on the table. Something is under the table. We need to find that and use it. And I think at the end of the day, either tool's gonna solve, like create NBOs, create MBAs, and how that data could be funneled in your and used within the automation. Because there's, I think, like selling different tool, like from the selling side, it's pretty easy. Like you find something that really triggers. And when we talk about the experience, technical skills, when people sometimes lack, they buy it. That, our tool can't do it.
Yeah.
This tool can. No, it could be done. There's workarounds. We just need to find the ways of doing it. Or integrate a smaller partner who is good at something. And through APIs, you can achieve same things.
So I think this is kind of a lot of experience in that you always need to focus on the business value and how it will impact your processes rather than specific features. I think I have the last question on the tool side before wrapping up. So what kind of, when you look ahead, so 15 years of experience backwards, when we are looking ahead, what are your expectations of how the marketing automation as a topic will evolve? What kind of, let's say, new capabilities are you expecting to come up, etc.? What are your dreams,
I think the hardest thing is more of creating those processes or involving internal people. Like, I think the dreams or visions about automation or how to leverage those tools, they can be very like miraculous. Like we want to create this. So I think like maybe as an example, we're discussing now internally how to create really personalized customer experience by leveraging corridor level, like where you're sending money to bringing different images for different people. Like, and it seems like for marketing, like data people, okay, we have this attribute. If this attribute is this, show this image. Yeah. but how much this creates work for creative teams. They need to create different images a lot. Content-wise, create different content, like to personalize different products or services available in that country. So once you create that, you need to ingest in the tool and use that. I have this question about, because LinkedIn, all the web is around the AI, how AI, ChatGPT is now very... And fortunately, I learned about ChatGPT from students because I voluntarily, I teach basics of marketing and automation at Vilnius Coding School.
Okay.
So somebody asked this question, like, do you know? I'm like, no, but I saw this. So they pushed me also to learn something by raising these questions. And everybody's like, I think leadership who does not know the method, like the technical skills, they think that something miraculous can happen. But when you're spending most time, you need to connect a lot of wires for things to happen. I personally, but maybe you can correct me, that at the end of the day, you need somehow also to control. Like if you're gonna give everything to AI, you don't know what AI is gonna spit to the market. And then what, like legal and privacy teams gonna get involved? Like how they're gonna solve this? You need to have this control, limited number of offers. If you're gonna give offer calculation, I don't know, to AI to calculate MBOs, you can create different ones and you're not gonna know which. But at the end, like salespeople, front end should know that this person received this offer. You promised this, you need to deliver. Yeah, so you need to have this controllable, manageable things that you afford. But I think it's an interesting area. Like a lot of things could be done, but hopefully there's going to be one such tool which will do easily with that one button press. No,
I think I think we have a vision for that, but maybe it will take some time. You know, as you said, it's like from the business perspective, probably. You want to be in control of what does your business do, so you cannot give everything to neither the best AI algorithms. Yeah.
If we wouldn't have vision, I think it wouldn't drive the performance improvement, efficiency. We would be sending SMSs like we did back 15 years, no?
Yeah, exactly. So to wrap up our conversation, over your really long career, could you share, let's say, the most proud moment that you had from the campaign side? What was, let's say, the campaign that it was like, oh my God, I'm super proud of that?
I kind of expected this question.
Okay.
So I had two. One we already covered.
Okay.
That was this aha, eureka moment. The other, I think we covered also a bit. This was the proof of concept that we manually imitate automation. And that opened the door for me also to grow as a specialist, like learn the marketing tools that I think I wouldn't have a chance to touch or become like a certified user of those. And that was seen by the leadership and our team with our leaders and cross-functional. We got the internal Lions Award, and we were sent to Cannes Lions 1 week of the marketing event. So it was this wow experience how we got rewarded. So I think always be curious, like try, do A/B tests, numbers help you prove or convey the message like how this works. And I think, you shouldn't be afraid of the failures as well, like they tell what's not working.
So you mentioned about the failures. So what is your most embarrassing campaign that you have done, you know?
I
that you can share now, you know?
I don't think that I have such, or I don't remember. Maybe because I was good with sequels. Or my sequels were like, I always like when write a SQL, I always go to data team. Hey, is it good enough? Like, have I missed? So that's how I learned. Like,
Okay.
always test or like always proofread before you go.
Yeah, this is like I know, sending a wrong message to everybody. It's a typical mistake, you know.
But I've seen those failures, so
yeah. And the last question that we ask for everyone. So, could you recommend a book, or I don't know, podcast or whatever media that could help to introduce to your topic better?
Okay, well, that's a good one. Well, I love reading. I didn't read that much when I was in school or a student. So recently, I just completed the Outside In. Outside In book, the power of putting customer at the center of your business. It's about the customer centricity. A lot of known examples, like I think it's research by the Forrester. Black box thinking.
Okay.
It is more about the failures we just covered. Well, and I listen to the books most often, like through my phone, because, well, when commuting or traveling, like podcast, I listen to Gartner Thinkcast, an English one, and from Lithuanian, time to time I listen to about Agile on Sophos, on the sofa, and Super Product, also Lithuanian. It's about how products are being created. What's an interesting area is this user experience, UI, UX, like it also like how we should think about from the customer perspective.
I think this is a super good wrap up, because when you deliver the message, the experience at the very kind of final stage has to be great.
Yeah, because, well, delivering automated message is not the end. Like, customer will have to land somewhere.
Yeah.
And I've seen that sometimes when there's a rush, there's no landing pages created. And when we say, like, where customer's gonna land, we don't have it. Can we put everything in an email? People don't read emails. They skim. They need to, everything should be in the small triangle to answer certain questions. Then what's the purchase funnel on the landing side? Is it few clicks, multiple clicks to close the deal?
Thank you, Vytautas. It was a pleasure to have you today.
Thank you for inviting me. It was an interesting experience, like, for me.
Thank you for listening to CVM Stories. If you enjoyed the show, please leave us a review. You can also ask us a question about a particular customer value management challenge you have at work. We will happily ask our experts to tackle your challenge in a future episode.